Have you ever felt an unexplainable pull deep within your soul, as if you were being called to something greater? This is not mere coincidence. It's a divine whisper, an invitation from God to step into a purpose far beyond your imagination. But being chosen comes with questions. Why you? What does it mean to carry such a calling? And how can you prepare for a moment that promises to transform your life completely? For centuries, those who have experienced this divine call, prophets, leaders, and ordinary people like you, have faced these same questions. Their stories reveal that being chosen is not about privilege, but about purpose, responsibility, and faith. It's a journey of growth, filled with challenges, triumphs, and moments that redefine everything you thought you knew. This video will unveil the steps to prepare for the encounter that will awaken your purpose, bring clarity to your faith, and guide you toward peace that only God can provide. Whether you're in the midst of struggle, searching for answers, or feeling distant from God, this is your moment to discover what it truly means to be chosen. There's a stirring in your soul, a feeling that you're being drawn towards something greater than yourself. This isn't just coincidence. It's a divine call, a moment when God whispers to the chosen that their time has come. Such moments are rare and profound, igniting a spark that changes the course of life. Many describe this feeling as a deep, unshakable conviction, a certainty that they are meant for something extraordinary. But how can one recognize this call when it comes? Recognizing a divine call often starts with a restlessness, an unease with the ordinary. You might find yourself questioning your purpose or feeling a pull toward deeper faith and greater impact. Think of figures like Moses, who was called from the quiet of tending sheep to lead a nation. Their lives were interrupted by divine purpose, just as yours might be now. These moments demand attention and readiness to step into the unknown with faith. A divine call is not about grandeur or glory. It's about obedience and trust. It's a call to align with God's plan, even when it defies logic or comfort. Imagine Abraham, asked to leave his homeland for an unknown destination, guided only by God's promise. His journey reminds us that responding to a divine call requires faith in what we cannot yet see. Are you prepared to step into this unknown, trusting that God's purpose will unfold? Preparation for this calling often begins with small signs, a word from a friend, a scripture that resonates deeply, or even moments of silence that feel unusually sacred. These signs are like breadcrumbs, leading the chosen toward their destiny. Have you noticed these markers in your life? If not, take a moment to reflect, pray, and ask for clarity. Sometimes, recognizing the call is as much about quieting the noise around us as it is about seeking answers. Those who answer the call often describe a profound sense of peace, even amidst challenges. This peace is not about the absence of struggle, but about the assurance that God is in control. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you." John 14, verse 27. This peace is a gift to those who walk in alignment with their divine purpose. Have you experienced this peace, or is it something you're still seeking? As this call grows louder, the next step becomes clear: preparation. But what does preparation look like for the chosen? It's not about striving for perfection, but about surrendering to God's plan, allowing Him to shape you through every trial and triumph. This journey will demand humility, perseverance, and faith, qualities that will pave the way for the divine encounter awaiting you. Being chosen by God is often misunderstood as a privilege, but in reality, it is a profound purpose. To be chosen means carrying a divine responsibility, one that involves leading, inspiring, and sometimes sacrificing for the greater good. Think of Joseph, who was chosen to save a nation during famine. His path was not one of ease. It required perseverance, faith, and the understanding that his life served a purpose far greater than his own comfort. The weight of being chosen lies in the expectations that come with it. It's not about self-glorification, but about glorifying God through one's actions. A chosen individual often serves as a vessel for God's work, whether by leading a family, a community, or even influencing the lives of strangers. This responsibility can be daunting, but it is also deeply fulfilling when aligned with God's purpose. How are you embracing this responsibility in your life today? To embrace being chosen, one must first understand their purpose. Purpose is the foundation that fuels action and provides clarity during challenging times. For example, Esther, chosen to save her people, demonstrated courage despite the risks. She understood that her position as queen was not by chance, but by divine design. Her story reminds us that being chosen often places us in situations that demand faith-driven action. Faith becomes the guiding force for the chosen. It allows them to navigate uncertainties and challenges with the assurance that God is in control. Without faith, the weight of responsibility can feel overwhelming. But with it, there's a peace that surpasses understanding, as Philippians 4 verse 7 describes. Imagine walking through the unknown, not with fear, but with confidence that each step aligns with a divine plan. That is the power of faith for those chosen by God. Another key aspect of being chosen is the impact it has on others. A chosen individual doesn't exist in isolation. Their purpose often intersects with the lives of many. Whether it's through mentoring, serving, or simply living as an example of godliness, their actions inspire others to seek God and fulfill their own calling. How are you using your position or influence to uplift and guide others toward their purpose? Ultimately, being chosen is about trust, trusting God's plan, trusting the process, and trusting that every experience, whether joyful or painful, serves a greater purpose. It's a journey of surrender and growth, where the chosen become a reflection of God's love and grace. The question is, are you ready to embrace this role fully and step into the purpose for which you were created? Every journey begins with preparation, and for those chosen by God, this preparation is often hidden in plain sight. Life's challenges, victories, and even the mundane moments are tools God uses to shape and mold his chosen ones. Take David, for example. Before becoming a king, he was a shepherd. His time in the fields, defending sheep from predators and learning humility, prepared him for the great responsibility of leading a nation. The trials you face today may be God's way of equipping you for a greater purpose. Preparation often comes through pain, but pain has a way of refining and revealing character. Think about gold being purified in fire. It must endure extreme heat to remove impurities and emerge valuable. In the same way, God uses difficult seasons to strengthen faith and develop resilience. When you face hardship, remember that these moments are not wasted. They are shaping you into the person you need to be to fulfill your divine purpose. Victory, too, is part of the preparation. The moments when you triumph over adversity remind you of God's faithfulness and power. They become markers of encouragement that fuel your faith for future battles. Like the Israelites crossing the Red Sea, these victories are testimonies of God's provision and serve as reminders that He is always with you. Have you taken time to reflect on the victories in your life and how they've prepared you for what lies ahead? Even in the quiet and seemingly insignificant moments, God is at work. Perhaps it's in the routine of daily life or in the patience required during long seasons of waiting. These moments teach humility, trust, and dependence on God. Joseph's time in prison, for example, seemed like a detour, but it was crucial preparation for his eventual rise to power. How often do we overlook the importance of these hidden seasons in our journey? One of the most significant aspects of preparation is learning to trust God completely. Trust is not built overnight. It is cultivated through experiences that challenge and deepen your faith. When you feel uncertain about the path ahead, lean on the promise in Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This trust is the foundation that sustains the chosen during their journey. Finally, preparation is not a solitary process. God places people in your life to guide, support, and encourage you. Moses had Aaron, and Paul had Timothy. Community is a vital part of the journey, offering wisdom and accountability. Are you surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you to grow? The chosen never walk alone, and recognizing this can transform the way you view your path. Preparation for a divine encounter is a journey that requires humility, reflection, and spiritual awareness. It's not about grand gestures or perfection, but about creating a posture of openness to God's guidance. Think of Samuel, who, as a child, heard God's voice calling him in the stillness of the night. His readiness came from a heart attuned to the divine. Are you creating space in your life to hear God's voice and recognize His signs? Humility is the foundation of preparation. Approaching God with a humble heart means acknowledging our limitations and surrendering control to Him. This humility allows us to trust His timing and His ways, even when they don't align with our expectations. Proverbs 22 verse 4 reminds us, humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Have you taken time to reflect on areas where humility can bring clarity and peace to your journey? Reflection is another key component. Taking time to examine your thoughts, actions, and intentions helps align your spirit with God's purpose. Journaling can be a practical way to capture moments of clarity and inspiration. Write down prayers, challenges, or questions you have for God, and revisit them to see how He answers in His time. These moments of reflection create a deeper connection with the divine and prepare you for the encounter. Silence and stillness are often overlooked but powerful tools in preparation. In a world filled with noise and distractions, finding moments of quiet allows you to tune into God's whispers. Jesus Himself modeled this, retreating to solitary places to pray and connect with the Father. How can you incorporate moments of stillness into your daily routine, creating a sacred space for divine interaction? Recognizing divine signs is also crucial. These signs might appear in Scripture, through conversations, or even in unexpected moments of clarity. They serve as markers, pointing you toward God's plan. Pay attention to recurring themes, verses, or messages that resonate deeply. Are you noticing patterns that could be God's way of guiding you? Prayer and discernment help sharpen your spiritual vision to identify these signs. Ultimately, preparing for a divine encounter is about aligning your heart and mind with God's purpose. It's a process of trust, surrender, and expectation, knowing that He is already at work in your life. As you prepare, remember that God's presence brings peace, clarity, and strength. How will you position yourself to fully embrace this encounter and the transformation it promises? A divine encounter is never just about the individual. It carries a ripple effect that touches the lives of many. When God calls someone, the transformation they undergo is meant to inspire, uplift, and guide others. Think of the Apostle Paul, whose encounter with Christ on the road to Damascus didn't just change his life. It led to the spread of the gospel across nations. Your journey, too, holds the potential to impact others in profound ways. The chosen are often placed in positions where their faith and actions serve as a testimony to those around them. Whether through words, deeds, or simply living a life of integrity, they become beacons of light in a world often clouded by uncertainty. Imagine the power of one act of kindness or a word of encouragement. It can create a domino effect, inspiring others to seek their own connection with God. Are you aware of how your actions are influencing those around you? Community plays a crucial role in this collective impact. God often connects His chosen ones, creating networks of support and collaboration. Just as Moses relied on Aaron and her to hold up his arms during battle, the chosen today rely on each other to navigate challenges and fulfill their mission. These connections remind us that we're not alone in our journey, and that together, we can accomplish far more than we could individually. Leadership is another aspect of the collective impact of being chosen. Whether in families, workplaces, or ministries, the chosen are often called to lead by example. Leadership in God's eyes isn't about authority, but about servanthood. Jesus demonstrated this when He washed His disciples' feet, teaching that true greatness lies in humility and service. How can you embody this principle in your daily interactions? The impact of a divine encounter extends beyond immediate circles. It inspires movements, transforms communities, and even changes the course of history. Consider figures like Martin Luther King Jr., whose faith-driven leadership ignited change and brought hope to millions. When you embrace your calling, you step into a legacy that has the power to echo through generations. Are you ready to embrace the responsibility and privilege of such a calling? Ultimately, the collective impact of the chosen is a reflection of God's love and purpose. It's about bringing light to dark places, offering hope where there is despair, and pointing others toward the peace and fulfillment that comes from knowing Him. How will you use your influence to leave a lasting mark, not just on individuals, but on the world? A divine encounter is not just an experience. It is a turning point that leads to profound transformation and renewal. When God intervenes, He doesn't simply adjust the course of your life. He redefines it entirely. Think of Saul's encounter with Christ on the road to Damascus, which transformed him into Paul, a cornerstone of the Christian faith. Such moments are not mere coincidences, but purposeful acts of God designed to awaken a new sense of purpose and direction. Transformation begins with a shift in perspective. When you encounter God, the way you see yourself, others, and the world changes. You begin to understand your worth as a chosen child of God, created for a unique purpose. This renewed perspective brings clarity and confidence, empowering you to walk boldly in faith. Have you noticed how even the smallest encounters with God can leave lasting impressions on how you view your journey? Renewal often comes with peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding, as described in Philippians 4 verse 7. This peace doesn't mean the absence of challenges, but the presence of assurance that God is in control. It's the kind of peace that strengthens you to face adversity with hope and resilience. Have you experienced this renewal in times of struggle, where God's presence brought calm to the chaos? Another hallmark of divine renewal is the shedding of old habits, fears, and doubts. When God moves in your life, He often calls you to leave behind the things that no longer serve His purpose. This process can be challenging, but it's also liberating. Imagine a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, shedding its former self to embrace a new existence. This is the beauty of renewal, stepping into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Transformation is not just for your benefit. It impacts those around you. When people witness your renewal, they see the power of God at work. Your testimony becomes a source of encouragement and inspiration, prompting others to seek their own encounters with God. Have you shared your story of transformation with others, allowing them to see how God has moved in your life? Ultimately, transformation and renewal prepare you for what lies ahead. They equip you with the strength, wisdom, and faith needed to fulfill your divine purpose. As you walk in this new season, remember that God's work in you is ongoing. He is continually shaping and refining you, preparing you for greater things. Are you ready to embrace this transformation fully and step confidently into the purpose God has set before you? A divine calling is more than a moment. It's a lifelong journey of transformation, purpose, and impact. Each step of this path invites you to grow in faith, embrace your role as a chosen individual, and reflect God's love and grace to those around you. As we've explored, the preparation, challenges, and triumphs are all pieces of a divine tapestry being woven in your life. How are you responding to this call? Are you prepared to fully embrace the purpose God has placed before you, allowing Him to mold and guide you through every season? Remember, this journey is not just about personal growth. It's about creating a ripple effect that brings hope, faith, and renewal to the world. Now is the time to take action. Dive deeper into Scripture, strengthen your connection with God, and share your journey with others. Let this divine encounter become the foundation for a transformed life filled with peace, clarity, and purpose. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to continue discovering the incredible plans God has for your life. Together, we'll uncover the truths that lead to a life of faith and fulfillment.